A beautiful day to all of you, my dear classmates. So, I am Ryan H. Corpus, and today I'm going to discuss with you Introduction to Numerical Methods. So, to start with it, let us first define what numerical methods is. So, first, numerical methods are techniques in mathematics used to approximate the problems that are difficult or impossible to solve analytically, such as integrals, differential equations, and nonlinear equations. Also, these methods involve performing numerical calculations, often using computers, to achieve a desired level of accuracy through iterative processes. And these methods are essential for approximating solutions to ordinary differential equations or ODEs and partial differential equations or PDEs, particularly when the solutions are not feasible. Let's start it now with enumerating the different numerical methods that we can use for ordinary differential equations or ODEs. So these methods approximate the solutions of initial value problems of this form of equation. So here, we are not just only going to enumerate the different numerical methods to use for ODEs and PDEs, but also we will introduce the formula if there is any of some of the methods to use together with the characteristics of it. So let's start it with the first one. So the first one is what we call as the Euler's method. So Euler's method is also known as the forward Euler or explicit Euler. So the formula to use for Euler's method or the forward Euler is that given formula. And the characteristics of that formula is of that method, that numerical method is first, it was simple, it's first order accurate, and conditionally stable. Well, aside from Euler's method or forward Euler, we also have backward Euler, or which is also known as the implicit Euler. So the formula being used for implicit Euler or the backward Euler is that given formula. So its characteristics is that, of course, it's implicit, it's first order accurate, unconditionally stable, but requires solving a nonlinear equation at each steps. Moving on, after Euler method, we do have the second one, which is the Runge-Kutta or RK methods. So here, we can make use of the first one, which is what we call as the midpoint method. And the formula for doing it is this given formula. And the characteristics of the what we call RK methods, which is the midpoint method, its characteristic is that it's second order accurate and it is explicit. Next to midpoint method, which is under the Runge-Kutta method, is what we call Yoon's method, or also known as the IK2. So its formula to use is any of these formulas. So you can make use of these three formulas in order for you to make use of the Yoon's method or the IK2. And its characteristic is that it's second order accurate and it is explicit. The third one, after uh, the two methods of the Runge-Kutta, which is the midpoint method, and the RK2, we do have now the RK4, or the fourth order Runge-Kutta. So the formulas that we can make use for this fourth order Runge-Kutta are these formulas. So what are the characteristics, or what are the characteristics of this method? So this method is widely used, it's fourth order accurate, and this method is also explicit. The first one is Euler method. The second, we do have the Runge-Kutta method. This time, we do have the third, which is what we call the multi-step method. Under the multi-steps method, we do have the Adams-Bashforth methods. And this method uses previous values to extrapolate the solution. So the formula being used on Adams-Bashforth methods is this given formula. And of course, its characteristics is that it requires starting values from another method. Let's take, for example, the Runge-Kutta. We also have under the multi-steps method is the what we call Adams-Moulton methods. So this time it uses future values in the computation requiring an iterative solver. And the formula being used for the Adams-Moulton methods is this given formula. And its characteristics is that it's generally more stable than Adams-Bashforth. So let's proceed now on the fourth method that we can use in order for us to solve ordinary differential equations. So the fourth numerical methods that we can use is the what we call predictor-corrector methods. So predictor-corrector methods combine an explicit method or the predictor to estimate the next value followed by an implicit method or the corrector to refine the estimate. Let's say, for example, we can make use of Adams-Bashforth as the predictor and Adams-Moulton as the corrector. And the fifth numerical method that we can use is what we call as the stiff ODE solvers. So specifically, it is designed for stiff ODEs where solutions contain rapidly decaying components. Let's say, for example, the backward differentiation formulas or BDF, such as the implicit trapezoidal rule. So now, let's move on knowing the numerical methods that we can use for partial differential equations or PDEs. So these methods approximate solutions to PDEs which involve functions and multiple variables and their partial derivatives. So there are uh, different methods that we can use, different numerical methods that we can use in order for us to do that. So the first one is what we call finite difference method or the FDM. So this FDM approximates derivatives using finite difference approximations. So it is first the forward time-centered space. Under finite difference methods, we do have the forward time-centered space or the FTCS. So the formula being used there is this given formula. And of course, its characteristics is that it's simple to implement, but stability can be an issue because it's conditionally stable. The next under FDM is the backward time centered space or the BTCS. So here is the formula that we can make use in order for us to make use of the backward time centered space or BTCS. And its characteristic is that unconditionally stable but requires solving a system of equations at each time steps. The second one under numerical methods for PDEs is the what we call finite element method or FEM. So here, it divides the domain into small elements and approximates the solution within each element using basis functions. And there are steps that we can follow in order for us to do that. So the first one is the weak formulation. So you're just going to convert PDE into a weak form using integration by parts. Second is discretization. So you are now going to divide the domain into elements and choose basis function. So the third step is assembly. So you are now going to formulate a system of algebraic equations. Then the fourth is the solution, wherein you are now going to solve the system to find approximate solutions. So the characteristic of finite element method or FEM is that it's versatile, it can handle complex geometries and boundaries conditions, widely used in structural mechanics, heat transfer, and fluid dynamics. First is FDM, followed by FEM. This time, let's proceed on FDM. And the third one is what we call as the finite volume method. So in this method, it divides the domain into control volumes and integrates the PDE over each volume. And the characteristics of this method is that it conserves physical quantities like mass, momentum, and energy locally, suitable for conservation laws widely used in computational fluid dynamics or CFD. Next method is what we call as the spectral methods. This method represents the solution as a sum of global basis functions, like for example, Fourier series and Chebyshev polynomials. So the characteristics of this method is that it's, it is high accuracy for smooth solutions, but can be less effective for problems with discontinuities like Galerkin, collocation, and Tau methods. The fifth numerical method for PDEs is the boundary element method or BEM. So it solves PDEs by discretizing discretizing the boundary of the domain into elements. So its characteristics is that it's useful for problems where the solutions is only needed on the boundary, such as potential problems and wave propagation. And last but not the least is what we call mesh-free methods. So mesh-free method does not require a mesh. Instead, rely on a set of scattered points such as smooth particle hydrodynamics or SPH and element pre-Galerkin method or EFGM. So this method's characteristics is that it's useful for problems with large deformations or moving boundaries. So take note that these numerical methods provide powerful tools for approximating solutions to ODEs or ordinary differential equations and PDEs or partial differential equations. So each method has its strengths and weaknesses, and the choice of methods depends on the specific problem, desired accuracy, and computational resources available. So, and that's all. Thank you for But before I end my discussion, let me leave you this quote. It says that without mathematics, there's nothing you can do. Everything around you is mathematics. That is by Shakuntala Devi. And that's all again. Thank you all for listening.